The long-awaited birth. Once upon a time, in the tranquil village of Mbil, nestled deep within the African savanna, there lived a woman named Zai and her husband, Amani. They had been married for many years, yet they remained childless. Zai had conceived multiple times, but each pregnancy ended in miscarriage just after a few weeks. The villagers, deeply rooted in their traditions and superstitions, began to whisper that Zai was cursed or perhaps involved in witchcraft. Amani's family suggested he marry another woman, but his love for Zai was unwavering. Amani believed that one day Zai would bear him a child. His faith was unshakable even as the years passed and their hopes waned. Then, against all odds, Zai became pregnant once more. This time, she carried the pregnancy well beyond the 9th month, much to the amazement and skepticism of the villagers. They had seen her hope turn to despair too many times to believe this time would be different. On a clear night, under the watchful eyes of 1,000 stars, Zai went into labor. The village midwife, a wise old woman named Maisha, was summoned. The labor was long and arduous, but finally, a cry pierced the silence of the night. It was a baby boy. The villagers, who had been gathered outside the hut, erupted in cheers and celebrations. Zai and Amani named their son Keto, meaning second of twins, though he was a single child. It was a name of hope, symbolizing their long journey and belief in miracles. As Keto grew, he became the joy of the village. The villagers adored him, showering him with love and gifts. His laughter was infectious, and his eyes sparkled with a wisdom beyond his years. Despite his parents' joy, there was one strict rule that Zai and Amani imposed on Keto: he was never to go near the river that bordered the village. The river was a place of beauty, with its clear waters and lush surroundings, but it held a mystery that the villagers respected and feared. The river was believed to be the dwelling place of the river goddess, Nyota. Legends told of her immense power and unpredictable nature. It was said that those who ventured too close to her domain often encountered misfortune. Zai and Amani never explained the reason for this rule to Keto, but they were adamant about it. Keto, being an obedient child, never questioned his parents' warnings. As the seasons changed, so did Keto. He grew into a curious and adventurous boy. One summer day, while playing in the fields, Keto heard a faint whispering carried by the wind. It seemed to call his name. Intrigued, he followed the sound, which led him closer and closer to the forbidden river. As he approached, the whispers grew louder, more insistent. It was as if the river itself was calling to him. Despite his curiosity, Keto remembered his parents' warnings and stopped short of the riverbank. He stood there, feeling a strange pull towards the water, but he resisted. He turned and ran back to the village, his heart pounding with a mixture of fear and excitement. That night, he dreamt of the river and the whispers that seemed to come from its depths. Disturbed by his experience, Keto decided to seek the wisdom of the village elder, Babu. Babu was a respected figure in Mbil, known for his knowledge of ancient law and his connection to the spiritual world. Keto found Babu sitting under the shade of a baobab tree, weaving a basket. "Babu, I have something to tell you," Keto began hesitantly. He recounted his encounter with the whispering wind and the strange pull of the river. Babu listened intently, his eyes narrowing with concern. "You are wise to come to me, Keto," Babu said after a long pause. "The river is a place of great power. It is said that the river goddess, Nyota, can communicate through the wind and the water. She is not to be trifled with. Your parents' warnings are not without reason." Keto felt a chill run down his spine. "But why does the river call to me, Babu?" "That, my boy, is a mystery," Babu replied. "Perhaps it is your destiny. But remember, curiosity can be a dangerous thing. Tread carefully." Despite Babu's warnings, Keto's curiosity only grew. The river seemed to haunt his thoughts and dreams, pulling him closer with each passing day. One afternoon, unable to resist any longer, he decided to venture closer to the river just to see what lay beyond the familiar village boundaries. He waited until the village was busy with the evening preparations, then slipped away unnoticed. He made his way through the dense forest, following the path that led to the river. The whispers returned, growing louder as he approached. When he finally reached the riverbank, he was awestruck by its beauty. The water was crystal clear, reflecting the vibrant colors of the sunset. As he stood there, mesmerized, he heard a soft voice behind him. "Keto, why have you come here?" He turned to see an old woman standing there, her eyes filled with wisdom and sorrow. The old woman introduced herself as Mama Asha, the guardian of the river. She had lived near the river for as long as she could remember, serving as its protector and the keeper of its secrets. Mama Asha told Keto that the river was not just a source of water, but a gateway to another realm where the spirits of the ancestors resided. "Your presence here is not a coincidence," Mama Asha said. "The river has chosen you for a reason. You have a special connection to Nyota, the river goddess. She has been watching over you since the day you were born." Keto listened in awe as Mama Asha revealed that his birth was a miracle granted by Nyota herself. His mother, Zai, had prayed to the river goddess for a child, then Nyota had answered her prayers. But with this gift came a great responsibility. Keto was destined to protect the river and the village from an impending danger that only he could thwart. Mama Asha led Keto to a hidden cave near the riverbank. Inside, the walls were covered with ancient carvings and symbols. At the center of the cave was a large stone tablet inscribed with a prophecy. Mama Asha translated the ancient script for Keto. The prophecy speaks of a child born from the prayers of a desperate mother, Mama Asha explained. This child will have the power to protect the village from a great evil that will rise from the depths of the river. Only by embracing his destiny can he prevent this catastrophe. Keto felt a heavy weight settle on his shoulders. He was just a boy, yet he was being told that he had a monumental task ahead of him. He didn't know if he was ready, but he understood the importance of the prophecy. He vowed to do whatever it took to protect his village and fulfill his destiny. As the days turned into weeks, Keto trained with Mama Asha. She taught him about the river's history, its connection to the spiritual realm, and how to harness the power within him. Keto learned quickly, his natural affinity for the river aiding his progress. Despite the challenges, he felt a growing sense of purpose and determination. Meanwhile, strange occurrences began to trouble the village. The river, once a source of life and sustenance, started to exhibit unusual behavior. The water level fluctuated unpredictably, and fish began to die in alarming numbers. The villagers grew anxious, fearing that their worst nightmares were coming true. One evening, as Keto and Mama Asha were training by the river, dark clouds gathered overhead. The wind howled, and the water churned violently. Mama Asha looked grave. "The storm is coming, Keto. We must be ready." The storm hit the village with a ferocity that no one had ever seen before. The sky turned black, then rain poured down in torrents. The river swelled, threatening to overflow its banks. The villagers huddled in their homes, praying for the storm to pass. Keto and Mama Asha braved the elements, determined to protect the village. They stood at the riverbank, watching as the water rose higher and higher. Suddenly, a dark figure emerged from the river, its eyes glowing with malevolent energy. It was the river demon, Nyoka, an ancient evil that had been imprisoned in the depths of the river for centuries. Nyoka roared, his voice echoing through the storm. "I have returned to claim what is mine. The river and the village will be destroyed, and there is nothing you can do to stop me." Keto felt a surge of fear, but Mama Asha placed a reassuring hand on his shoulder. "Remember your training, Keto. You have the power to defeat him." Keto steeled himself, drawing on the strength and knowledge he had gained from Mama Asha. He stepped forward, facing Nyoka with unwavering resolve. The river demon laughed, a chilling sound that sent shivers down Keto's spine. "You are just a boy," Nayoka sneered. "You cannot defeat me." Keto raised his hand, summoning the power of the river. The water responded, rising up to form a barrier between the village and the demon. Nayoka lunged at Keto, but the barrier held strong. Keto could feel the energy of the river flowing through him, giving him the strength to stand his ground. The battle raged on, with Keto and Nayoka locked in a fierce struggle. The villagers watched in awe and fear, praying for Keto's victory. Despite the odds, Keto refused to give up. He knew that he had to protect his home and fulfill his destiny. As the battle continued, Keto felt himself growing stronger. He could feel the power of the river goddess, Nyota, guiding him. With a final surge of energy, he unleashed a powerful wave that engulfed Nayoka, pushing the demon back into the depths of the river. Nayoka screamed in rage and frustration, but he was no match for the combined power of Keto and Nyota. With one last roar, he was pulled under the water, his presence vanishing into the depths. The storm began to subside, and the river returned to its normal state. The villagers emerged from their homes, their eyes wide with amazement and gratitude. They surrounded Keto, lifting him on their shoulders and cheering his name. Keto was hailed as a hero, his bravery and strength celebrated by all. The village held a grand feast in his honor, with music, dancing, and storytelling. Keto, though humbled by the attention, felt a deep sense of fulfillment. He had faced his fears, embraced his destiny, and protected his home. Mama Asha watched with pride, knowing that Keto's journey was just beginning. The river still held many secrets, and there were more challenges to come. But she had faith in Keto, knowing that he was destined for greatness.
To find out what happens next, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. Hit the bell icon so you don't miss the thrilling continuation of our tale. Join us on this journey of suspense and discovery. Your next adventure awaits.